Where's your devotion? Where's your devotion?
Hi Aries, welcome to Maddie Tarot. I'm Maddie, and today we're going to be doing a general reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements for December 1st through 15th, 2022. So keep in mind this is a general reading. It may not resonate for everybody from front to back. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. You may need to swap roles throughout the reading. I could be talking about you, your person, another individual, or party at any time. I am just doing my best to decipher a story from the messages that are coming through. So, don't overextend or stretch yourself to make it fit. Swap roles as necessary, but if it's not your story, it's not your story. And be sure to check your other placements because your messages could be there. All right, so I've already cleansed the space, cleansed the decks, pre-shuffled, and meditated on the collective conscious of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. All right, so what does Aries need to know? What does Aries need to know? What does Aries need to know? Messages for Aries. All right, Aries. We're going to start with a card for you. Card for you. Card for you. Death. And for your person on Aries' mind. Person on your mind. The Two of Cups. Past energy. Past energy, the Six of Coins. Sorry, this light is going crazy. All right, Six of Coins for the past energy. Present energy. The Six of Swords. Intuition, Aries intuition. The Lovers. And challenge. Nine of Swords. Advice. Eight of Swords. Person on Aries' mind, what they're thinking, how they're feeling, and what's their next move. The Emperor. Bias and caution for Aries. We've got the Star. And guidance. Aries guidance. The Hermit. At the bottom of the deck here, you've got Temperance. All right. Let's pull a crystal card for Aries. Chrysoprase. I don't know how to say it. All right, this stone can induce a deep meditation known to be very helpful by opening your mind to acceptance of others and yourself. This calming stone can prevent you from speaking out in anger by making the mind think about consequences before you lash out. So Aries, yes, you are dealing probably with some frustration, some pent-up frustration. And you are, trying to hold your tongue as best as possible. You might have already spoken out, but you might have already lashed out or said something. But it is something that you are trying to change at this time. I think you are aware of this. And let's get into this reading a bit deeper. Okay. So there, I see changing feelings here, and it looks like Aries, you might be going inward to focus on yourself a bit more. You've got some sort of pain here has been lurking in your mind, and it's really you're coming to a point where you're understanding why something happened the way it did. I'm getting here that you may not be in contact with this person. You possibly could, but Yeah, so for the death card here, something's transforming for you. You are letting go. You're shedding your skin, shedding the old, and welcoming in the new. You're coming to a realization about something, and this has to do the Ten of Pentacles. This has to do with some roots here that go back to maybe family, childhood wounds. This is something that you have seen now a little bit deeper about why, what transpired in this connection, did how you reacted, and why that happened. This person definitely does love you, and it looks like they are, if you guys are in separation, they are thinking about you right now. They're taking accountability, looking at their side of the street and seeing, they could possibly even be thinking of reaching out to you. I see here in the past, it was good while it was, and you guys had equal give and take here, and you had a lot of teamwork, effort, collaboration. You guys both were very involved, and then something just kind of dwindled, I see. You've got the Six of Swords here in the present energy, so again, lessons and transitions and moving on. And it looks like this is in regard to some subconscious that understanding that has intuitively come through. So this is the Death card. So transformation, shedding, your skin, and transforming something. The Ten of Pentacles. This was having to do with something that maybe you guys had talked about, having a long-standing commitment together for life. You guys maybe talked about marriage. The Ten of Pentacles here also talks about family roots and foundation. So something rocked the foundation here that had to transform, and it was due to this. Um, it caused this major transformation in the connection, in the love. The person was in love with you. Your person was in love with you, is in love with you, I believe, still. Um, there was some sort of awakening that happened, judgment here, where this person had to take responsibility for their life, and it looks like they were not fully willing to do that in the moment, and maybe they had blamed you for something. Maybe they said, they gave you some runaround about, oh, they needed to figure themselves out, or they're still trying to do that in regard to how they relate to love. They're still trying to figure themselves out. You guys did have a great union of equal give and take. There was partnership here that was very, 100 effort. But somebody wasn't speaking. Somebody wasn't speaking up on their grievances, and maybe they would, but they were too. I'm getting here. Somebody was very passive, and it didn't alert the other person to the severity of something, and resentment built over time. It caused disruptions. It caused outbursts. It caused fights to boil over into things that on one end, and I'm not sure whose is who, but on one end, somebody thought they were managing these things as they were going along, but really what they were not realizing is that the passivity of the way they would communicate it did not get the message across of the severity to this other person. So while one person thought they were communicating these things and they were trying to handle it, and do that, quality control, the other person didn't really see how important it was. So when it blew up, it was almost as if it was a surprise, and it seemed like that continued to reoccur, and the message really never got through. There was something to be learned here in the present moment. There are intuitive messages coming through that are trying to show you the lesson and extract something from it. We can always tell ourselves a negative story or a positive story, and so the more you're willing to look at the silver lining, and follow your intuition and understand things happen for a reason, and what can you extract from here that can empower you? What did you learn? And when you can do that and have gratitude, that is where growth happens. That is where happiness happens. That is where that is where releasing old pain and moving forward to new heights happens. Okay. In your intuition here, you've got the Lovers. Clarify the Lovers for me. Clarify the Lovers. The Lovers is clarified by the King of Swords. And then the Nine of Swords here in your challenge. Clarify the Nine of Swords here. Clarified by the Five of Cups. And clarify the Eight of Swords. Clarify the Eight of Swords for me. The Knight of Wands. And clarify the Emperor. Justice. All right, so your intuition's telling you to make a choice. Open up your heart because you've had it closed off and you've been largely in your head. King of Swords, logic over heart. You don't want to be vulnerable or open up. Your intuition is trying to tell you, Aries, that you are only hurting yourself. And if this is fresh and you're still trying to maybe get over somebody, or you still are stuck on them or continue trying to manifest them back, that's fine. But like, you need to face the pain and stop rationalizing your misery in this. And I know that hurts to hear, but when you are able to accept the thing or accept what is at this time, then you are able to call in your manifestations even better. Because if you're manifesting from a place of lack, from a place of need, so you're lacking something and you feel like you are incomplete without it, or you're hurting very badly and you're trying to manifest it, it's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. And so you have to be fulfilled. And so that is why it is so important to let go of the pain. And to let go of the pain, you have to face the pain. So this is telling me here, your intuition's trying to tell you that you have an endless well of love within you. That is not something you cannot lose in love. Because if you love genuinely, then you do not lose anything. And your love is something intrinsic within you. It is something that never runs out. It is an endless well. And contrary to popular belief, it costs you nothing to love. So your intuition's really trying to point that out at this time. Your challenge here is facing the pain. The Nine of Swords is depression, it's sadness, it's tragedy, it's like nightmares. And so you are largely thinking about this constantly. You've got these repeating negative thoughts. And the Five of Cups here, it talks about releasing. It talks about grievance. It talks about remorse and going through the motions of grief. It talks about mourning something. And so the original depiction of the Five of Cups has a person standing there looking at the three cups that have spilled over, and there's two behind them. And that is essentially what I was saying over here, is it stands to show that you already have love within you. The Two of Cups is love in a relationship. So this relationship with yourself and love within you, it's intrinsic. It's your intrinsic value. It does not ever deplete or go away. And when you give love, you are not taking from the love you have. You have an endless amount to give, and you have an endless amount that is always within you. So the Two of Cups is still, it goes to show that there's hope. To not lose hope. Not all hope is lost. And so in this specific situation, even, not all hope is lost. And we'll get to that over here with your person, but you've got to face the pain and let go and move forward. And that's your challenge at this time, Aries. You've got your advice here is the Eight of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Your advice here is the Eight of Swords is like a mental prison. It's continually repeating repetitive thoughts and something that is keeping you small, limited, some sort of fear, some sort of pain that you continually to replay in your head. Your advice is to look at that with this Knight of Wands energy. This is rebellious. This is courageous. This is adventurous. So become curious about what is keeping you in this loop. Become curious. Because the more you are looking outside of yourself by looking at what others did to you, what somebody did to you, how somebody hurt you. And I know that's the way all of our brains go. That's where we go to. This person did this to me. Spirit's asking you and giving you the advice to become curious and understand that you allow people to make you feel the way you feel. You assign meaning to situations, circumstances, behaviors, actions. You assign the meaning. So become curious into where the roots of that assigned meaning came from. Why is it that that behavior means that to you? Why is it that you see things the way you do? When you can become curious about that, you can unlock and uncover a lot of deeper emotions and experiences and you know, your limiting beliefs and the way you've connected this web of interconnected experience with within your life to that brought you to this sense of how you make brought you to how you make sense of what has happened and the pain. And when you can understand that web better, it becomes less personal what happened. It becomes easier to see and heal and understand that, you know what, maybe I had something within me that really, really needed healing. And the beauty in that is when you find that out and see that part of it, is that you then can find out how to be grateful for what has happened, because you would have never seen that and had the opportunity to heal it and address it and become a better version of yourself without that experience. So that is what your advice here is, to become curious and adventurous within your loop of thoughts that you have found yourself in recently. Your person, what are they thinking? How are they feeling? And what's their next move? It looks like this person's looking for stability and structure. They were pretty shaken up by what had happened here. They may not have shown that directly to you or outwardly in any way. But it looks like they've kept their emotions under wraps, but that does not mean they do not have them. And they've been facing some sort of karma here. There's been what goes around comes around. This person maybe thought that they could find better. Maybe they thought that they were going to I'm getting here the message that like they were not fulfilled, and they thought that it was because of you. And what they're coming to find is that really they were so disconnected from themselves that that's the reason they were not fulfilled. And it doesn't matter, because their problems are following them around now, and they're seeing largely that they've got a lot of work to do, and these things are becoming apparent to them, and they are kind of in a sense of regret here. Your bias or your caution space shows the star. So remember earlier I was saying you cannot manifest from a space of lack, from a lack mindset. If you believe that because as without, so within, or as within, so without, it's like you already have all of these energies, all of these things within you. Everything you could ever desire is already exists within you. You are like going inward to understand that everything you need is already there. All the answers and all these outward displays of emotion and these behaviors and circumstances and people in your life, it's like all of that exists within you. There's nothing you can't create or give yourself, or that you don't already have, that somebody else could give you. So when you are trying to manifest somebody from a mindset of lacking, that is not you essentially, you can't take money out of a negative bank account. You cannot take money out of a negative bank account. You cannot manifest something out of a mindset of lacking. And so what I'm getting here is, in your caution and bias, is that your hope here and on your life path, and the way maybe you're thinking, why did this happen to me? It wasn't supposed to happen this way. But that's your bias. This is your life path. This is something that was supposed to happen. You needed to extract a lesson here, like I was saying right here. Also, the hope that you have surrounding this person possibly is something that you need to be careful about, because if you're doing it from a mind state of lack, you are keeping yourself in that loop that I was speaking about here in your advice section. So clarify the star here. Death. Yeah, you need to transform something, because your bias here is surrounding the changes that happened, the ending that happened, and the new beginning that is coming in. You have, I don't think you're accepting it as like it was, as how nothing is circumstantial. I'm sorry. Nothing is coincidence. Nothing is coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence. So, this was the path for you, Aries, and that is something that you might have some trouble accepting at this time. Your guidance here is the Hermit. Go inward, shine your light inward, introspection, do that deep dive that I was speaking about here. That is where you will find your answers. Everything exists within you. So these outward displays of possible anger, understand where the roots of those came from. And the clarifier here is the Two of Wands, King of Wands. And at the bottom of the deck, you got the Three of Swords. Okay. Your guidance. Two of Wands. That changes need to be made. A change between a union or an energetic union even, so you could still be energetically connected to this person. It looks like they are about energetically connected to you as well. Some sort of change needs to be facilitated in order to move forward. And the King of Wands here is this desire you have for them. It's okay to desire somebody, but again, you can't do it from a mind state of lack. And that is what the Hermit here is saying, to go inward and really uncover these things and understand where that desire actually stems from, because it's not that person. Yes, you may love them. Yes, you may, but it goes deeper. Maybe you feel largely like they made you feel like you're not enough. Maybe they made you feel like you're a disappointment. Maybe they made you feel like a failure. Maybe they made you feel like you are defective in some way, or it's uncovering that inner deep self-limiting belief is what is needing to change here. And so when you can go inward and heal that, and what that will bring you, Aries, is balance here, temperance, in this sector of your heart that has been broken, Three of Swords. So to heal this wound, you must find the balance and harmony. And to do that, you must release something and understand that as without, so within. Okay, so let's pull some inner guidance messages for Aries. Inner guidance messages for Aries. Love, joy, freedom. Allow. One step at a time. Strength and courage. Go within. And have a good time. All right, so love, joy, freedom. Doesn't get much better than that, right? Self-love. Find your happiness. Find your center. That is when you become free. That is true freedom, is to self-love. And that does not mean to close your heart off. And that does not mean to not ever, become jaded. That does not mean become jaded around loving others. Allow these uncomfortable feelings in. Lean into the discomfort. One step at a time. It gets easier and easier the more strength and courage you have to face these things. A lot of people think that repressing them, putting them to the side and not facing them is strength and courage, because I'm happy, I'm fine, nothing bothers me. No, that doesn't work. that will be detrimental, and it will always come back. Strength and courage is facing it. Strength and courage is being vulnerable. Strength and courage is saying, being brave enough to say, I am hurting. Go within. You will find your answers there. And Aries, last but not least, have a good time. It is very painful. I understand that. However, understand that healing may not be very comfortable or fun, but it is worth it. And it is the only route to happiness. Okay? So that is all I have for you today, Aries. I really hope it helped. Thank you.
Feel like we've reached a crossroads. Ooh, don't you hate them ultimatums? But we need a revelation to save us. Stuck in the moment, it seems. The more I think, the more I don't know. I'm looking for a sign. Where's your devotion?